So I work at a sports and outdoors center, and throughout my time working there, I've noticed that a lot of people, whether due to age or physical ability, that they cannot rack the slide on a lot of guns. Whether it's a Smith & Wesson, a SIG, a Glock, guns like that, where it's just difficult to rack the slide and also release the slide. And as many of you know, those guns, the miniguns, often don't have the easiest slide releases, and also aren't the easiest to rack back. And so I thought, well, why not make a video on some of the things that I've learned, on some of the tips that I have showed to other customers on how to easily operate a gun. So I'm going to show that to you guys right now. So the first tip I'm going to show you is how to rack the slide back if you can't physically pull it back. Normally, like by grabbing the back of the slide and pulling back. So one of the ways that I learned was grab, whether it's your left or right-handed, doesn't really matter. Hold the frame and then hold the slide. And rather than a lot of people doing this, try and just use their elbows, I recommended that what you do is you put your elbow behind the gun, behind the wrist like this, and same with your right hand. And push with your right hand or your frame hand this way, and then push with your slide hand the other way. So this is how it works. Just like that. So one more time. Kind of bring it into you, so you centralize it. Just like that. The second way I found out actually was today, while I was helping a customer, is rather than try to use all your strength to pull the slide towards you, try to actually grab the frame, keep the slide in place, and then push with your hand rather than pull like this. Just like that. So just keep it in place and then push. Just like that. Now, the tips I have for releasing the slide, one way I normally do it is a lot of times the reason why a slide won't go forward is because the weight of the spring and also the weight of the slide is pushing up against that slide stop. And so in order to have the slide, be able for the slide to go home, you need to relieve the pressure off that slide release. So how you do it, have your thumb on the slide release, pull back on the slide to alleviate that pressure, or actually right here, so you hear a little tap. Now you may not always hear that audible slide, or that audible click on all guns, but that is a good indication. You will, for most guns that ones I've handled, do have that audible click when you pull it back, saying that you can now release it forward as long as you have your thumb on that slide release. Now, the second way I found out how to do it, since I'm not going to do 1911 because you don't want to be constantly releasing a slide on an empty chamber on 1911. I have my HK P30L. So now this one, easy way to do it. There is no magazine in here. How you do it is when the slide is back like this, you don't even, as long as there's not magazine, you can actually just not even touch the slide release, you actually just pull it back. So you hear that click, that's actually the slide release releasing. So then, and then, just like that. And you can also see it, because this slide is a little bit longer than most. Most HKs make their slide releases a little bit longer than the other ones. Now, if you're worried that it may not work for some reason with the magazine in the gun, actually I'll show you. Now, you're correct if you think, well, I mean, if I try to, I'm gonna have to use the slide release if I can't with the magazine there. However, though you're correct, if you have a live round, I'm not going to put a live round here, but I do have a dummy round right here. Put it in. So it is in there. Now, with that round in there, it actually functions the same way as if the mag was not in there. So all I do is just pull it back, just like that. So if you're on the range, that's a good way to load it. And then you are ready to fire. That's kind of all I got for today. If you have any other tips and tricks that you've learned along the way, definitely leave them down below in the comments. But that's all I got today. See ya.